Alrighty then, this is our first Lions live stream in quite some time. As we combine the rest of them with the Pistons or the other live streams been the Pistons. So hold on. December 5th was the last one. Yeah, let me make sure I got that mark right. I'm gonna talk about, we're gonna preview the Rams game, which I think it can go either way. I think it could be a blowout either way. I think it could be a close game either way. I think it can go into OT. I just don't trust the Lions, and I'm just gonna flat out put there. I don't think that's a secret to anybody. Uh, I don't believe that to be a secret to anybody. Um, I don't trust them. Um, they have given me no reason in my lifetime to trust them. So they have to do it for me to believe they can do it. So, um, but obviously my fandom is pulling from them, but I don't speak from a fandom standpoint of view in a lot of these videos. And that's what people get confused. Now I tell you, like, I'm being biased or I'm being a fanboy here and there, and that's rare. Um, but this is a grand stage. I think the would this be considered the best spot in the playoff weekend? I mean, would you consider Monday night Tampa and Philadelphia the best night because it stands alone? Obviously, the dead spot of wild card weekend is the game that's really the Steelers and the Bills, which a lot of people were mad because that game was exclusively on Peacock. Now, let me give you some free game. If you got Xfinity, they gave a lot of people in Xfinity. If you check your email or you call them, they gave a lot of the people with Xfinity free Peacock memberships. I think premium Peacock memberships, FYI too. So yeah, they gave them free Peacock membership. So yeah, if you got Xfinity, you probably already got a free Peacock membership. You check your email or you get them a call. Um, hopefully that didn't expire. But yeah. So yeah, just did some free game. But they put the Dolphins in Kansas City on Peacock, and that's really the dead moment of Wild Card Weekend is Saturday night. That's the dead moment of Wild Card Weekend. It's Saturday night, where that's the worst slot that you can have in all the playoff weekends. I remember Skip Bayless um, speaking on it. So that's the worst spot that you can have is a prime time spot Saturday night. I guess because people be doing stuff Saturday night. You got to understand only part of the country is going to be facing a snowstorm Friday. A lot of other parts of the country they'll be out there moving and grooving. You know what I'm saying? So, um, the Cowboys and the Packers play 4 p.m. the game before our game. That's a really good spot. People getting out of church. So I mean, if we had to really uh rank the playoff games real quick before we get into it. And this don't mean this the way it's gonna go. You know what I'm saying? Some of these you might, you're bound to get upset. You're bound to have a hot team here or there, in the playoffs or an upset here or there. Um, but I think from worst to best game, well, obviously the top two teams are off. Baltimore and San Francisco back in the day used to be the top two seeds. But I think the less appealing game, and this may change, and let me explain why real quick. Jalen Hurts hasn't threw all week, so he may not play because of the finger. But nonetheless, Buffalo and Pittsburgh. I mean, that's just a game I don't care to see. So that's the worst game of the weekend because the Pittsburgh ain't got no quarterback play. But Josh Allen turned the ball over. Don't forget last year they played a backup quarterback in Miami that nobody heard of, and they struggled. Then I would say the next game that's probably there is Cleveland and Houston, just off the fact how Cleveland did Houston dirty. I knew that was all C.J. Stroud with Case Keenum, but the way they swiped through Houston defense, man. I mean, maybe Stroud can keep up, but I doubt it with the number 1 or 2 ranked defense in Cleveland. So to me, that's the second worst game of the weekend. I think the third worst game of the weekend is probably going to be Philadelphia and Tampa Bay. Um, I but still think people kind of want to see that because Tampa, Philly started to crash, Tampa started to crash. Then I would say, the top three games left is Kansas City and Miami. I tell you who I'm picking real quick. I think that's there. It's gonna be cold, but I think it's still a good game. Kansas City beat them early. Now their receivers can't catch the ball. Then I think, to be honest, I think then one fifth, I feel. Then I think it's Dallas and Green Bay. I think that's a really appealing game. A lot of pressure on Dallas. Green Bay ain't playing with no pressure at all. I think the Lions and the Rams is the best game storyline. It's a competitive matchup. Last couple years ago in golf, first year Stafford beat golf at in LA. I think that's before SoFi opened up too. So them the top. The Jay say if our defense gets two stops, we win with a competent quarterback play. I think they need more than two stops. They need some turnovers. They need to play like they played versus Philly. Versus Dallas, in my opinion. But they need more than two stops. You know what I'm saying? And I think the Lions, I'll get to that. But shout out to the Jay. But my picks for the weekend is obviously Cleveland, upset Miami, Buffalo, upset Dallas, not upset by seeding. I got Tampa Bay beating Philly, and I'm going to pick Detroit Lions, but I'm not betting on that shit. I don't bet on the Lions, but, just talking about the game in general, it's a very, very interesting game. It's a very, very interesting game once you talk about it because really the Rams are in transition. You got to remember, Sean McVay tried to get out of there. People got to remember, Sean McVay tried to get out of there. And some happened where they convinced him to stay. He tried to get out of LA. He was dipping. He was going to do a Sean Payton, probably take a year or two off. And he was going to take a year or two off. And then, you know what I'm saying, probably come take a job that he really wanted. So that's the thing about it, man. But they here. Stafford is playing well. They lit up Baltimore earlier this year. In Baltimore, outside. I don't know exactly what the weather was. It was kind of warm, but they put on a light show versus Baltimore. They put some points up on Baltimore. It wasn't until Tylan Wallace, scored on a punt return. So they put up some points on Baltimore. Don't forget that. So then when you continue to look at it, and you look about who they have on their roster, I think what changes the dynamic of them is them being able to run the ball with this guy. Kid, I think out of Tennessee, Notre Dame, excuse, I keep saying he out of Tennessee. He got over 1,100 yards. 12 TDs, 5 yards carry. He was a touchdown machine for them this year. And this is what opened up their offense. Kyron Williams is what opened up their offense. He was a 5th-round pick out of Notre Dame, right? Yep. Pick 164. He catching the ball out the backfield, 32 receptions, 206, 3 touchdowns. He's what really kind of changed the Rams around. Now, the Rams pretty much got a leaky defense, and that's also a problem for them. They got a leaky defense. And Aaron Donald, he ain't really what he used to be, but guess what? You got Aaron Donald. I wish they had the team stats. I'm trying to find the team stats. You got Aaron Donald in a playoff game. That's still, still tough. That's still tough. So you still got to count for him, and he's probably going to show up in this game. So you got to count for him, no doubt about it. And you start to look at some of the things they're doing well as a team rank. They 8th in points, 7 in yards. 11th in play. I don't know. I guess that's play. 11th in rushing yards, 12th in rush attempts. So I'm telling you, that Kyron Williams dude changed the game. 11th in passing yards, 14th in pass attempts. Stafford also, I think, missed a game or two. Um, Passing average, ninth. Sacks, 6. So sack yardage, 23rd. So they fairly, I don't know where the defensive side of things are at. So that's what I'm trying to look at. So I mean, this shit is kind of confusing. So I guess they 6 in the league and getting sacks. So Aaron Donald, he's still had 8 sacks this season. So played 16 games, 8 sacks. Don't have the help that he used to have out there defensively. Um, but you gotta account for big time players in big games. I mean, he was 1 foot in, 1 foot out too. He was about to retire until they paid him more money. So when you started to go look at it, offensive line really, over the years ain't really been their strong point. But now running the ball carry, and then another guy that's been a problem over here has been Demarcus Robinson. I mean, he's been over there killing it with Matthew Stafford. So he's a deep speed threat, and I know Kansas City wish they could have him. He's the guy that's been really tearing it up. You playing some FDS this weekend, man. He's definitely, he probably gonna be priced nicely, but he's definitely a guy. If you're looking for a low key killer, he definitely been doing really good over there. So he the guy that take the top off. Their receivers are dangerous, And now, and reason why Aaron Donald probably didn't get as many sacks, they running a 3-4 now. He usually playing that 3 technique. Probably at the 5 now, but most of these guys you just don't know their names. So defensively they ain't really been. They in a transition. No, there was no more Leonard Floyd, no more Jalen Ramsey, no more Von Miller. You know what I'm saying? No more some of these guys. And they struggle with Stafford struggles outside. I knew that they would struggle with the Giants because he tends to struggle outside. But it's just eliminating the big play. That's what you want to do with this team. You want to eliminate the big play. You want to keep everything underneath, wrap up, tackle. You want to eliminate the play down the field. You want Matthew Stafford to chop it up, 14, 15 plays if he's going to go down there and score. That's what you want. You have to stop Kyron Williams. And really, you can't let Demarcus Robinson, Cooper Kupp, and Nukua, get big plays down the field. You don't want this into a shootout. Let me say this again. You don't want this into a shootout. What you technically want is the Lions. You want the Lions to be able to run the ball, eat the clock up, keep Stafford off the field. That's what you want. You want to keep Stafford off the field. That's exactly what you want. You want to keep Stafford off the field, on the sideline, and you want to make him, play from behind. You want to make him, you want to make him play from behind, and you want to make him, get cold on the bench. You want him to get cold on the bench. You don't want a shootout between, and more likely, both the quarterbacks likely to turn it over. But Stafford gonna give you a couple turnovers. But with the Lions, the formula to winning in the playoffs is being able to run the ball, stop the run, get after the quarterback, and get turnovers. That's the recipe. The Lions need to focus on running the ball, eating that clock up, even at home, eating that clock up, and take the game out of Jared Goff's hands and put it into their playmakers' hands. High percentage throws to St. Brown. runs to Jameer Williams, runs with David Montgomery. You need to just tear them down. That's what needs to be done. You don't want to get into a shootout. Trey Finesse salute. Just saw that Jerry Jacobs is on IR. Weird message from he done. His contract is up in Detroit, so he's done. What's going on, Gregory? So yeah, that's what you want to do. You don't want to get out here into a shootout with Matthew Stafford. You just don't. Any of these, whoever you continue to play, if you get past this first round, you don't want to get into a shootout. You do not want to get into a shootout. You have a team that can run the ball. You got a team that can stop the run. You got a team that's been generating takeaways. Now you just need the team that's going to manufacture pressure. And after, blitzing, if that's, getting there with stunts, getting there with 4 down linemen, confusing Stafford and disguising stuff. That's what you need to do. That's this game. Don't want to get into a shootout. No matter if you Sunday night in Ford Field, whatever, you want to establish the formula that's a winning formula in the playoffs. When Aaron Rodgers and them made a run in the Super Bowl, well, who was the most important player outside of Aaron Rodgers? It was James Starks. Their ability to run the ball with James Starks is the reason why and how hot their defense played. Because you got to remember, had Jay Cutler never went on the NFC Championship game, the Bears probably go back to the Super Bowl. He was struggling with Caleb Haney or whatever the dude's name was. So the recipe to winning playoff games is to run the ball, stop the run, get after the passer, take the ball away. That's the recipe. It's not getting to shootouts. It's not, putting it. You want to take as much pressure off your quarterback and put as much pressure on the other quarterback. And this is where it starts here. You come out there, you run the ball, you stop the run, you get turnovers, you try to get after their quarterback and do it there. It's no time to do anything that you usually wouldn't do. Be you. Because you don't want to leave it on Michael Badgley's foot. You know what I'm saying? You don't want that. When Matthew Stafford throw you the ball, you got to capitalize on it. Same thing for the Rams. When Goff made that bad throw too, the Rams got to capitalize on it. But they're an explosive football team. You don't want a young football team where some of the guys have never been to the playoffs to get down quick and Stafford strike quick. Stafford is a great front runner. When ain't no pressure on Stafford, he can put up a lot of points quick. So you don't want to be in that position come Sunday night. If you get past this game, you playing with house money. You're not supposed to, be going back to Dallas. You ain't supposed to be. The pressure is on the teams. Their windows is closing. The Lions, the only pressure on the Lions, which just sound meek or it sounds like small, but the only pressure on the Lions, or measly, on the Lions is just getting over the hump of winning a playoff game. After that, it's house money. Nobody expecting the Lions to go to the Super Bowl. Nobody expecting them to go down to Dallas and win, or go to Tampa and win. No matter what happens, go to San Francisco and win. Nobody expecting that. Nobody expecting that. This is the monkey that they had to get. One, if they're able to get this monkey off their back Sunday night, it's pretty much they could play free and loose after that. It appears that James Houston is coming back. Give you a little speed out there. Don't know how much he can give you. And there's some other adjustments that need to be made. And I've been saying this. I don't care how long Melifano been playing safety. It's time to put that mofo at corner. You need the help. How many times you got to see Vitor get fucking burnt toast? The man was a corner his whole career. He's your best option at corner with the healthy Cam Sutton or injured Cam Sutton. The man is your best option. The man is your best option. Put him out there. Let him match up on the outside. Let him match up on the inside. Follow the team's best receiver. And don't worry about it later on. Don't worry about it. Keep Brian Branch. And another thing they got to worry about is Brian Branch playing that nickel. That's another nasty line. That's another nasty matchup for Brian Branch. He struggled with former Lion that played with Minnesota. What's the kid's name? The real fast guy, Brandon, the fast slot guy they had out there. Brian Branch versus DeMarcus Robinson. That's something that they need to keep an eye on. If DeMarcus Robinson going against the slant against Brian Branch, that's a horrible matchup. That's what I said. They need to put Melifano at corner. Put Cam at the other side. Brian Branch, if you got a bad matchup on the slot, move Melifano into the slot. Safety's used to playing the slot anyway. No more. We need to see Kendall Vitor out there. Fuck that. He is terrible. That's Jerry Jacobs' little brother. You got a 6'3" guy that's been playing corner his whole life. This motherfucker 6'3", 210 pounds. It can run too. Put him out. What's the worst that can happen? He played the position his whole life. Let him go out there and match up on Nacua or Cooper Kupp or whoever it may be down the line. Let him go out there. 6'3", strong. Held his own versus Devontae Adams on Sunday. Was that Sunday, Monday Night Football a couple years ago? Put him there. You putting these bums out there at corner that ain't better than him. Now you got some depth at safety. You can get away with it. You got Tracy Walker still at safety. You got Gardner Johnson coming back at safety. Don't be surprised if you see Gardner Johnson going to the nickel and you see Brian Branch playing some safety as well too. They got to get better at the cornerback position, and they have answers on the roster. They have to start to utilize the answers on the roster. Now that you're healthy on the back end, move Melifano on up. In certain situations, move Gardner Johnson into the slot. He ain't doing. Anybody can play safety. Safety ain't hard. It's just people they don't keep their discipline. They just, like Bill Belichick say, they don't do their job. Move him up. Move Cam Sutton to the second one. And when you get a favorable matchup, move Gardner Johnson into the slot. That's kind of where I would be at with it. He's too big and talented, and he got too much ball skills to be playing in the back end when he could be matching up with some of the bigger receivers. That's too much talent to be at safety. I'm sorry. Yeah, he big enough. He can guard the tight end. You ain't worried about Higsby. I'm not saying Higsby can't have a good game for the Rams. You ain't worried about him. You want to get in there and you play the George Kittles and you want him to play safety and match up on George Kittles. I understand it. I really do. But in this matchup, hey, somebody should be able to handle Higsby. Let this man go out there, guard one of them two deadly receivers and be done. And really three, because the Robinson been balling. Then you got to watch Tutu Atwell because he can run too. And Stafford started to learn to put touch on this deep ball. Pause. Michael said, Lions going to have to stop Kyron Williams. They got to make the Rams one-dimensional. Absolutely. When he get the rolling, especially when he smell that that end zone, it's over with. I wonder how much James Houston is going to play. He's going to play situational. He's going to be situational. But the crazy thing about playing him in situational football, which means in pass rush situations, and they messed him up too because they want to change him. They trying to change him to an off-the-ball linebacker. This is what I don't understand with the Lions, right? They take guys, and what they do best, they try to make them do something else. No. If what James Houston do best is rush the quarterback, we worry about the bullshit later. We worry about him covering tight ends and backs. Put his hand in the dirt, go get the quarterback. That's what you worried about. We can get him to stop the run, and we don't need him to be the off-the-ball linebacker right now. Go get the quarterback. Melifano, let's put him at safety, and bro, you seen your cornerbacks? You got guys that wouldn't even be in the NFL if you didn't pick these dudes up at corner. Utilize your talent. What they do best. That's all I'm saying. The Lions are going to go with Kirby, Gardner Johnson, Melifano on the field at one. That Melifano down the cornerback. That's you got answers at corner on the team. Gardner Johnson can play some corner. Melifano can play some corner. Tracy Walker plays some corner at the University of Louisiana Lafayette, even though he more of a box safety. They probably why they cut They didn't cut him. He go to IR, but it's probably his last year here. I don't think the Lions are gonna move his position mid-season. I feel like they might do it. Hey, man, bro, you gotta know the choice. Vidor, whatever his is, trash. They have to do it. He been playing it his whole life. You know the coverages. Oh, it's man to man. It's zone. I got the deep half. It's cover 2. I got the flats. He knows the defense. He knows it ain't no different. You go out there, guard him. Don't worry about it. You know it. Because as a safety, you got to know your responsibility. You got to know what the corner responsibility is. If he passing them on when he go deep and I got cover 3 and I got to get the middle of the field, he knows the responsibility. He knows the plays. I thought if he was drafted as a corner, he is a corner. They moved him to safety for whatever reason. They moved him to safety. Maybe they thought he'd stay. He's a stud at safety. But when you don't have enough depth at cornerback, Origin Z, he's your best option. Gardner Johnson and Melifano was your best options at corner. It's just the honest truth. You can't leave Vito out there. He literally can't run with guys. Jerry Jacobs literally couldn't run with guys. These guys literally can't run with guys. You can't have guys who are not athletic, not big and athletic. That's what I be saying. They be playing these dudes out of position. And hopefully the game plan isn't to go out there and have a shootout with the Rams. That's not the formula that you're going to win a playoff game with or consistently win a playoff game with. That's just not the way it's not the way it goes. It's not. It's literally not. You don't want Goff dropping back 20 times and you don't want him dropping back 20 times throwing the football, do you? 30, 40 times. No, you ain't going to win that way. You ain't going to win that way. Use Montgomery. Use Jahmyr Gibbs. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully he got something in the bag. You know? Ben Johnson got something else in the bag. But like I said before, some of the running plays I don't like. I like to see them run more power, more whams, more physicality on the inside, with Jahmyr Gibbs, with David Montgomery. I like to see David Montgomery a little bit more involved in the screen game, a little bit more. That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. But we'll see. We'll see. But I don't want to see them getting into a shootout. And I ain't saying that I completely trust Stafford in a shootout. Because Matthew Stafford, he's a guy that he will turn the ball over. But if you're not an opportunist and you drop some picks and you know what I'm saying, you drop some picks and he get a second chance, it could be a wrap. It could be a wrap. So, but it should be an interesting game. But like I said, I can see this going a number of different ways. I can see the Rams running off with this. They ain't got nothing. They ain't got nothing to lose. Think about it for a minute. What the Rams got to lose? They literally a team that's in the rebuild mode. So it really ain't no pressure on them. All the pressure in this game is on Detroit. All the pressure in this game is on Detroit. And after this game on the Lions, if the Lions can get past this and get that monkey off their back and get in the playoff win, it's no more pressure on the Lions. There's no more pressure on the Lions. Now they're playing with house money. The real pressure is on San Francisco. They let a Super Bowl slip away a couple years ago. You know, Dallas. They got to pay Prescott again, and it's pressure on those teams. Green Bay playing with house money. Young team like the Lions. What do they got to go? What do they got to lose? Like I said, the Lions just need to get the monkey off the back. And they can get the monkey off the back, even going into next offseason, there's going to be expectations for them to do it again. Okay. But even just getting the playoff monkey off their back, man, they can play free for the rest of the playoff run into next season. They can play free a minute. You just want to get that playoff, win. You want to break through. You want to just break through. And they could break through. They could be a dangerous team the rest of the way. Look at, Baltimore. It's a lot of pressure on Baltimore. A tremendous amount of pressure on Baltimore. If they don't do it this year, come on. San Francisco, this might be one of their last years to do it with a high-ass payroll. They traded assets to get Chase Young. Dallas might be the last year to get it. So, like I said, this is the line. Every game for those teams I named, Buffalo. Every game for is a must win. It's a must win for those guys. When you're dealing with teams like Green Bay, who window just opening, Detroit window just opening. Who else we got out here? Pittsburgh, who supposed to be in the rebuilding mode, don't have a quarterback. They supposed to be in the rebuilding mode. Houston playing with house money. What do Houston got to lose? Ask yourself. Houston playing with house money. Only thing they really got to get over with is the ass whooping that Cleveland gave them. But then again, you know what they can say? Well, we didn't have our star quarterback. He's our best player. We didn't have our quarterback. And that's fair game. That's fair game. That's fair game. So a lot of these teams walking in here, Miami is kind of a team that's their window is open. It ain't really closing just yet, but some of these teams that window is just not that's kind of that's more closing than opening. Dallas, San Francisco, Baltimore. It's pressure for those teams to get it done. It's pressure. The pressure mounting down on me, mounting down on you. The pressure. Yeah, it's pressure. It is pressure. So the Lions' biggest pressure is, guess what? Winning a playoff game. They win a playoff game, then hey, whatever happens, as long as they don't get ran off the field, next offseason, they're going to be walking with a strut. But you got a lot of guys who ain't been here before, and that's fine. Sometimes not being somewhere, you don't know the magnitude of it. Sometimes being young and dumb, you think, I'll be back here. I ain't really tripping. They got some guys that's been around the block a little bit. Alexander Zoney, I believe he been in the playoffs. Gardner Johnson been to the Super Bowl. Jared Goff been to the Super Bowl. Even though he's injured, high tie. I mean, didn't he go to the Super Bowl? Made some playoff runs with Philadelphia. Josh Reynolds, he went to the Super Bowl with the Rams. So they got some guys that they got some experience. So it just ain't a team that don't have any experience at all. They got some guys that can tell them what it's like, and then they have the benefit of being at the crib. They have the benefit of being at home. So that's always lovely when you have the benefit of being at the crib. So yeah, I had that comfort. But I think I think it'll be a good game. But then again, it's always as a Lion fan or as a real Lion fan that been a Lion fan for over 30 years is always in the back of your mind. SOL, SOL, SOL. Is this where the Lions get out there and embarrass the city of Detroit again? Until they completely vanquish that, you know, uh, you know, we gotta wait and see until they completely vanquish it. But get some comments. He said, bro, if the Lions win this game, we're going to the NFC title game. We can beat Dallas, Philly, and or Tampa Bay. I mean, we can. You could beat anybody on paper, you know. But you think they gonna let it make it any easier for you to beat Dallas? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So really, it ain't no pressure. All the pressure is on Dallas. All the pressure is on teams like Philly, San Francisco, who paying guys and putting a bunch of leverage on guys and all that stuff. All the pressure is on teams like that. So that's where all the pressure is at. The Lions' pressure is just getting off, getting a win, getting a playoff win, and not having to hear about that shit no more. That's where they pressure lie at right now. So, um, Jared Goff said he got a chip, but he really wants to, win a playoff game for the city, and that's pretty much the Super Bowl for Alex Salute. The Lions need to feed off the crowd. I think it's going to be tough for a lot of teams to deal with this crowd, especially in the playoffs. I just think they just need to run the ball, keep the ball out of the Stafford hands, and keep the ball out of Badgley foot. How about that? Because I don't feel confident in Badgley at all. I don't feel confident in that man at all. For real. I don't feel confident in him at all. So that's something to think about. But I just kind of find it funny how they got rid of Patterson or whatever his name is. They just got rid of his ass. They literally just got rid of Dog. That shit was crazy. I don't know if he did something, missed some kicks in practice, whatever. I don't know. But whatever he did, he said, I'm calling now. If we lose, it's because of Ben Johnson's play call and not running the ball. And a lot of these newer offensive coordinators, they believe in throwing the ball to open up the run. That's what they believe in. And man, if that's what they believe, that's what they believe in. I'm more of a promoter to running the ball to open up the run. Once you get to throwing it and get behind the sticks, because and then complete, and then some of the runs that Ben Johnson called, and at the times they call it, they lose a lot of yards. Like you were playing a very fast. You was playing a very fast pace, fast linebacker, fast front seven in Dallas. They known for speed. They not known for stopping people, with power. They known for speed. And he was choosing to do slow developing plays like that. That what is that trap block he did with the trap block he did with kept that little trap kind of back block he kept doing with he kept doing with Sam Laporta. He just wasn't athletic enough to get there. He just simply was not athletic enough to get there. What about some of them quick hit and run plays and them power plays? You getting these guys down the hill, you know, with a head of steam. So, that's the question. That's the $1 million question. But Ben Johnson's not using the fullback enough. And wants Jared Goff to keep throwing. Well, the fullback just got back healthy, so maybe maybe that'll change something. But the fullback just got back healthy, so hopefully he utilizes him. But he just got back healthy, so hopefully he utilizes him. So that's the thing about it. But you're right. I don't like a lot of the running plays that he called. They be losing too many yards, in my opinion. But so be it. It kind of seemed like his play calling kind of like I ain't really been feeling it. That was a bad game plan they had versus Dallas. I mean, he tried to do the exact same thing that Miami did the week before, and that's trying to do slow developing outside runs. Like no, like set the inside up, then you start doing some things on the outside. You got linebackers that's fast, the front seven that's built for speed. You should be trying to run right at them. Dan is not going to kick it, and that's another problem. In the playoffs, he need to be playing field position. He need to be playing field position. You know, so but it is what it is. He got a good punter too. I don't know why he don't utilize him. So, but hey, it is what it is. Yeah, what else we got? He said it's run formation. He's calls at the wrong time. I don't like that from being they're successful at power running. And dog, he refused to do it. He refuses to run the ball with power. So, uh, so it is what it is. But hey, it is what it is. He said with our O line, the power run game will be more effective instead of mimicking Miami. Yeah, he tried to do the stretch zone and try to do all that shit. I didn't get that. But hey, it's a more screen game for J-Mo and B. I don't think they trust J-Mo in the screen game. And I don't think you really can trust Gibbs in the screen game. Gibbs dropped the ball too fucking much. So I think that's kind of where they at with it. But hey, it is what it is. But hey, that's all I got tonight. Appreciate y'all, man. Peace.